Hey, it's Tuck. Today is, sorry, let me double check, I'm losing track of time. August 26th, 2013, and I had a really good day today. I got up and gave away my couch, so my apartment is pretty much fully empty, and so I don't have much to clean up. And then I went out for breakfast and had some coffee, and I was meeting up with a friend of mine because I leave next week, so I'm trying to meet up with as many people as I can before I leave. I gave her a copy of my story, and kind of just got caught up with her life because I'm going through a lot of shit, and a lot of other people are going through a lot of shit, so it's nice to hear about other people's lives and to just listen. It's sometimes I don't always have a lot to say, but people have been super kind and listened to me, and I have like the greatest support system ever for my transition and even just life in general. Like, I was like looking back on last year or the year before that, or even just when I first came to Winnipeg 4 years ago, or when I was just so many different stages in my life where I felt really alone, and I felt like I had nobody, and sometimes I just felt non-existent, where I felt like I wasn't making that big of an impact. But it's really nice to know that I have made an impact on people's lives, and that I have really good friends, and I try to be a really good friend, and I feel really good today. I got to see some people, and I've had a really good weekend. I went out to my friend's cabin for the weekend, and I recently decided again to stop drinking. It got a little out of hand where I quit for 2 months, and then I fell off the bandwagon, and I was drinking, and just like last week, I found myself just hitting, I don't know, like a big low again, and feeling the need to drink, like, I knew they wouldn't solve my problems, and I know that they make it worse, and it causes more problems, but I got to the point where I just felt so shitty that I didn't even really care, and I was drinking to just forget for a second, and I was feeling shitty, so I would find myself drinking to compensate for that, which is not okay. So I had my first sober weekend, and it was awesome. It was really nice to be around friends and to have that support system where, yes, they were drinking, but I told them that I didn't want to drink, and 2 of the people that were there know about my stance with drinking, and I haven't been that open about it, but I think it's time to be open about it. I just remember how shitty I was feeling last Thursday, and the friend that I went out to the cabin with picked me up from work, and we only had like 2 beers, but it was controlled, and it was what I needed, and I was able to rant and to just talk about it. But the last time I quit drinking, I didn't really vocalize why I quit. I just told people I was quitting, and it makes it really hard because 95% of people will ask why, or they'll be like, quit drinking, why? Or like just all these other typical reactions from people my age, because I'm friends with people ranging from 19 to like 30, so it's prime age for that's a big part of socializing, and it's a big factor in my, not everyday life, but in your average like week or whatever. Like, it's a big deal for me to quit drinking, just because I have a history of it in my family. My dad's an alcoholic, and the first time in my life, I kind of just sympathized with him, and I remember how shitty I felt last week, like not even a week ago, last Thursday, how shitty I felt, and how I just felt so crappy about just life, and with moving and leaving and change, and just a big mix of things where I felt shitty, so I wanted to go drink. And I know that's stupid, and I know that's not a good reason to go drink because you're sad or you're upset, but it got to the point where I just didn't care. And I'm really glad that I had that friend who picked me up from work, and I was in a controlled environment where I wasn't just, because when I drink, I don't have a limit, and I'm either not drinking, or when I do drink, sometimes it gets a little out of control where I have way too much and I don't have a limit. And even if I take precautions like, oh, I'm only gonna take this much money, and then I'll just spend that, and once that's done, then that's done. But let's be honest, that never happens. So for the first time ever, I fully sympathized with my dad, who I always resented growing up for him not being there and being an alcoholic and being abusive and just absent. But for the first time ever, I'm not justifying anything he's done, but I can totally relate. And I felt so shitty, I just didn't even care. So, I am quitting again, and I'm gonna be more vocal about it with friends and people I have in my life, because this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. It's really fucking hard. It is really hard to quit drinking, but to still be around people, and to not drink, because it's such a big thing with a lot of my friends, and that's cool. They don't, like, most of them probably don't have a problem, but I do, and it makes it really hard. And the first time I quit drinking, I was doing really well, and I was determined not to, but then I fell off the bandwagon because life just was getting me down, and a lot of shit was going on. But I never really told that many people that I have a problem with it. So this is me saying I have a problem with it, because I do. And it came down to the point where I was drinking because I was sad, and that's not okay, and that's a little pathetic. But this time around, I want to do it right, and I want to be more open about why I want to quit drinking, just because it has been a problem for me for a while, and I do a lot of stupid things when I drink, and make a lot of bad choices. And people like to find excuses for that, where I've tried to vocalize, like, hey, I do really stupid shit when I drink, and they're like, well, so does everybody, but it stems from a deeper problem. So, I totally appreciate all of the people that support me, and after watching this, will continue to support me, and hopefully this makes it easier this time around when I'm on my way to quitting, because I hasn't even been a week yet, but I made it through the weekend, and that's a pretty big step. So I should probably go, because this is getting a little long. Thanks.